Everybody, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a bookish video, a ultimate bookish video. I'm about to go book shopping now. I'm about to go meet up with a friend, and we're going to go to Barnes and an independent bookstore in my area called The Press. We are probably going to go to brunch. I also want to talk about some of the books I've gotten in the last couple of probably since my last video. I've gotten a couple of books. I already opened the Amazon box, so it's not, I can't call it an unboxing because I already opened the box. So it'll be a fake unboxing. And then I'm going to show you guys the holiday reads I've been reading and still have to read. I got a couple of, a list of books that I want to read basically before the end of the year. So my end of the year TBR. I don't know that I'll stick to those books, but those books I'm at least trying to get to before the end of the year. I just want to do a massive, well, let me stop lying. It's not going to be a massive book haul unless I just go crazy. But I'm trying not to go crazy. I'm trying to like have some self-control here and be realistic, because I have a ton of books that I still just haven't read that's on my shelf. But I do just want to have everything in place, so when the new year starts, I'll have all the books that I could possibly want to read. As long as I stay off of Goodreads and I stay off of YouTube, I won't be enticed to buy any more because I won't even know about these books. But we're going to be honest. Let's make that a New Year's resolution. We're going to be honest about our book habits. Collectively, let's be honest about our book habits. We say we're going to go on a book ban and we don't, and it's fine. It's fine. It could be worse. It could be so many other vices that we have, so many other things, but we buy books. We love books. What's wrong with that? So I'm gonna do all of this, and then when I get back home, we'll go over the books. No promises when I get back home. I might film that video tomorrow because I might be tired. It's snowy outside. It's supposed to turn from snow to rain, so it's gonna be ugly today. So ugly days means what? Cozy reading. So I can't say that I'm gonna film when I get home, but then when I get back home, we'll go over all the books that I'm excited about, the ones I've been reading. I also want to recap you. I did a mid-November wrap up, so there were still a couple of books that I read toward the end of November that I still want to go over and let you know how I felt about them. So I will recap when I get back home today or tomorrow. So I'm back at home. It's definitely the next day. Like I said, I was tired when I got home, so I didn't film anything. So first things first, I want to recap the books that I read toward the end of November after I did the mid-November wrap-up. So these were the 2 books that I still had left to read from my November TBR jar that I picked. So these were really good. Honey and Spice. This was, I think I read it on the last one, so I'm not going to read it again. I can't remember what I rated this, but it has to be like 3.5 or 4 stars that I gave it. It was a really, really good book. I was kind of nervous about it because they are in, I think they're like 20-year-olds. They're in college. So I'm starting to realize like books that are like too YA just aren't for me. So I was kind of scared because this has been on my shelf forever. And I've just been like putting it off. But I'm glad I finally read this. It was really, really good. It gave you more than a fake dating situation. It gave you culture. It gave you friendship. It gave you healing friendships, healing your traumas and your insecurities. It was so much more than just like a romance or a fake dating. It was so much more than that. Definitely gave you a lot of Nigerian culture, a lot of Caribbean culture. It was set in London. If you know me, you know I'm obsessed with a British accent. I don't know why. Whole other story, whole other video. But I loved this. So whole time I was reading it, I heard the accent, I heard the culture. It was awesome. You've been putting this off? Check it out. It was really, really good. Then The Love Hypothesis. I'm sure this book has been talked about on BookTok, BookTube, whatever. People rave over this book. People rave over Ali Hazelwood. I will say that I feel like it was teeny bit overhyped. It was a really good book. Not to the, I'm not saying I did not like it, but I just don't see where this could have been a 5-star. It was really, really good. First off, let me tell you a little bit what it's about if you don't know what it's about. It's a girl in STEM, and she has this like fake dating experience with one of the professors. She ends up in this situation. She wants her, it's a whole long story. I can't even explain it, but 9 times out of 10, a lot of people have read the back of this book or heard people talk about it, so you know what it's about. But I will say one of the only things that were like cringy for me, that was really annoying for me, was Olive, because I like strong women in books. I mean, you don't always have to be like, oh, I'm a woman, hear me roar. Like, it doesn't have to be that, but the miscommunication trope and her weakness is what was throwing me off the whole time, and her insecurities. We all have insecurities, don't get me wrong, but it was very annoying to read for 400 plus pages. It was more like, well, he kind of looked at me like he loved me, but no, he could never love a girl like me, just plain on me. And then a couple of chapters later, I don't know if he really feels that way. I shouldn't say anything because there's no way he's into a girl like me. Like, that got annoying real fast. And this book made me realize how much I do not like the miscommunication trope. A little bit of it is fine. Like, I love Magnolia Park series, but that is a whole world of miscommunication, and I still love it. This was just too much miscommunication for me, and it was just annoying. Would I read it again? No. Would I recommend it for somebody else to read? Yes, I would. It still was a good read. It still was a good book. It still had me turning and wanting to know what was good, what the end game was. So I still would recommend this book. I did get another book in November, and it was Twisted Games, the second book of the Twisted series. I read Twisted Love, I think October, and I said I wanted to try this one out before I got the whole series. I'm a fan. I'm definitely going to get the whole series. These books are they're really good. They're kind of smutty, so if you don't like the smut, if you don't like the spice, probably not for you. And it's like that like domineering type of smut too. So if you're not into that, you don't want to do it. But this was really good. This follows, like I said in a previous video with this Twisted series, there's 4 girls, a group of 4 girls that are friends, and each book is about each friend. First one was Ava. This one is Bridget. She's a queen of Eldora. That's like a made-up country in Europe. She's a princess. So in this story, she ends up basically in line to be queen. And her brother is supposed to do it, but a situation happens where he cannot turn around and be king. So she's next in line, so she has to do it. Only problem is she wants no part of that kingdom. She went to school in the States, so she can kind of get away from that. She likes to be places where nobody knows her name. She doesn't like all the, royalty stuff. Like, she takes the perks of it, but she doesn't want to be queen. So this story follows her and her journey to becoming queen alongside her bodyguard, which she obviously has a romance with, which is considered like a forbidden romance because she shouldn't be with her bodyguard because that's against the rules for him to get involved with one of his clients. So it was good. It was really, really good. So now I will talk about what damage I did yesterday. I didn't do too bad. I didn't do as bad as I thought I was going to do. And I had gift cards and stuff for Barnes. So it made it all worth it. So the independent bookstore I went to, the press, I got one book. I got Geneva Rose's One of Us is Dead. This follows 4 well-to-do, rich women. And I'm assuming they're friends. They may be like frenemies. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to read the whole back. But who amongst these women will be clever enough to survive Buckhead? And who will wind up dead? They say that friendships can be complex, but no one said it can ever be this deadly. So I read The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose, which I gave 5 stars a while back. I read You Shouldn't Have Come Here. That was like, meh. And I read the rom-com It's a Date Again. So she's proven herself to me as an author that I will read like basically anything that she comes out with to give it a try at least. You know, she's not like up there with me with like some other authors may be, but she is definitely a good author and I definitely want to check this one out. So Barnes. So as I previously said, I was invested enough in the series that I went ahead and got them. So I got the other 2 books in the Twisted series. Twisted Hate follows Jules and Josh, and Twisted Lies follows Stella and Christian. And I cannot wait to see. I heard that the smut and the spice get spicier and spicier and spicier as the books go on. And these books are way thicker than the other 2 books, so it's a lot of spice to get through. It's like 500 pages, 400 pages, I don't know, a lot of pages. But I'm invested and I'm definitely gonna pick those up. Next I have Vicious Games. Not even gonna lie, I don't even know what this is about. I know it's YA, so I'm giving YA a chance again. I know these are younger kids, and but this is a lot to read, so I'm not gonna read this entire thing. But they're in a New England upper class, like boarding school type of deal. I don't know what kind of game they're gonna play. I've just heard a lot about this book, and my friend and I both got this book, so we're gonna buddy read it together because we're both kind of iffy about YA books. We don't want to see, as she would say, kids fighting over lunch tables and things like that. Like I'm over that. Like I don't want to hear about that. But we're gonna give this a try. So this might be my last go round at a YA book because I don't know, just because it's not for me sometimes. Some of those YAs, I don't know if I just haven't read the right type of YA. You got any suggestions for me that are kind of like adult-ish YAs? Drop them in the comments and let me know because I would gladly pick them up. But just some YAs have just thrown me off in the past. But I'm definitely going to give this a try just because I hear this is a really, really good read. Next, I just got The Husband's Secret. Leanne Moriarty, is that how I say this? I read Big Little Lies and I watched the series Big Little Lies and I loved it. It's fiction. I think it's considered women's fiction, but it reads like a suspense thriller. So, well, at least Big Little Lies did. And I think kind of like this book is the same way. I'm gonna read the back because this makes you, I had to get it after I read the back. Imagine your husband wrote you a letter to be opened after his death. Imagine too that the letter contains his deepest, darkest secret, something with the potential to destroy not only the life you've built together, but the lives of others as well. And then imagine that you stumble across that letter while your husband is still very much alive. Cecilia Fitzpatrick has achieved it all. She's an incredibly successful businesswoman, a pillar of her small community, a devoted wife and mother. Her life is as orderly and spotless as her home. But that letter is about to change everything, and not just for her. There are other women who barely know Cecilia or each other, but they too are about to feel earth-shattering repercussions of her husband's secret. So, like I said, I think this is women fiction. It's not meant to be a thriller, but I feel like it's going to read like a thriller, page turning and just trying to figure out, you know, race to the finish line, try to figure out what is going on. What was in that letter, first off? That sounds messed up that you wrote this letter that you didn't think she was going to find, and then she found it, and now your life's blown up. So, last but not least, for my Barnes purchases, I was able to snag a book that I gave shortly after, basically when I first got back into reading about 2.5 years ago. It Starts With Us, Colleen Hoover, and it was Archer's Voice, Mia Sheridan, that I just fell in love with. And I try to recommend Archer's Voice to anybody who would listen. That was the first book I think that had me up at 2 a.m. With a couple teardrops. I got emotional with that book. And I heard from another YouTuber, so we had to go find it when we were there, the limited edition, not the limited edition, special edition copy with the orange sprayed edges. This book is beautiful. So I already have the book. I might just give that away to somebody who hasn't read the book, or just so I can have this on my shelf. So this is an annotated special edition. So in here, there's little notes that Mia Sheridan wrote, like going with the chapter. So like if there's a part in there, she may say, hey, I was inspired to write this part because I was in blah, blah, blah. You know, it's kind of like you're digging in her head as to how she wrote this book and just her thoughts when she was writing this book. And I thought that was awesome. Cannot wait to put this on my shelf just to display. Definitely have to do like a Barnes type of display where you have it front facing, and you know, it's beautiful. So those were all the purchases that I got yesterday, and I'm so excited that I didn't get anything crazy. Oh wait, I'm lying. I did get stuff from Amazon. Hold on. So from Amazon, the other day I got 2 books from there. They're not super duper popular ones, but those are the ones that sometimes I do want to give a try. I think both of these are actually free on Kindle, but I kind of always like to have the physical book too, so I can kind of go between the two, because like if I'm at home, I might want to read the physical book, but once the lights go out and it's dark and I don't want to go to sleep yet, but everybody else is in the house sleep, I like to flip to the Kindle just because of the light, or when I'm on the go, I don't always like to put the books in my bag. I'd rather just have my Kindle with me or read it on my phone. So I got by Christina C. Jones, Love Notes. I guess it's part of a series called Equilibrium 1. This says, love says something instead of just looking like it. Love, you can always trust to feel like home. For both of them, it's something that has always been just outside of their peripheral. Something to be observed rather than experienced. A depth of feeling reserved for people who are not into that. Those with a different outlook. Those more deserving. Until their paths cross. Lines are crossed. And maybe the stars are crossed too, because the connection and chemistry are so off the charts that they can't stay away from each other. Can't avoid it even if they think they should. So this is a very short book. It is like, well, this ain't that short. It's like 246 pages, so short enough. I don't know why I thought it was like 100 something, like a novella, but it's 200 and something. So this seems like a really good one to get into. And then I got Sheree Lewis's Saint Ave. I've only heard 2 people on BookTube even mention this book before, so that was enough to make me jump on it. I like the cover. Like, I like thick, pretty books. I like how it feels. I like how it's just the street sign on here. What I don't like is how it's written. If you can see how it's written, like, it's so much space on either side of the, I don't know, it's weird. So I'm probably going to read more of this on my Kindle, and so I won't be overwhelmed as well, because this is a thick baby. This is a thick baby. So this is what happens when 2 souls bind together after leaving grueling chapters in their lives. A fire is set ablaze when Yasmin enters the Santil household. She's offered an opportunity that will greatly benefit her, but soon realizes that the work may be too strenuous. Matters are worse when a larger-than-life personality enters her existence. He's everything that Yasmin imagined, but knows he's no good for her. However, his presence is way too commanding for her to ignore it, and she soon finds herself confined to his web of chaos. So it looks like she gets with somebody after working in his household. I think she's going to end up being a nanny or something like that for a kid or something like that. And then she gets wrapped up in like the lifestyle that he lives, that I'm really not sure what the lifestyle is right now, but just reading this just made me kind of want to dive in and just see what it's about. I'm definitely trying to try new authors, not the ones that are just like overhyped and just over talked about. Because I think also being on BookTube, it's like you want to be introduced to books that are different, books that are new, authors that are new. If we all keep talking about the same authors, the same books, it gets old sometimes. So at least like, I am reading a lot of these popular books, but every now and then I like to sprinkle a little bit of somebody else and trying to just put somebody else, you know, in my collection, basically. Okay, so next I have the holiday reads that I want to read, or that I've already read. So I've already read You Make It Feel Like Christmas. Super short novella. It's only like 170 pages. Really, really cute. It's about a girl named Star. She's from a family of, she's got like 4 other siblings. She comes from like a well-to-do family that puts a lot of pressure on her. They have to be the best, like the smartest. They have to be, you know, successful. And all of her siblings, her parents, everybody's successful. She is too, but she just got laid off from her job. So she goes to visit for Thanksgiving to her family's home in DC. She doesn't tell anybody that she's been laid off because she says it's an embarrassment. She's the baby of the family, and she just feels like they're going to baby her, or she's going to feel less than. She ends up forming a connection with her brother's best friend. So basically this is brother's best friend. But it's not like a forbidden brother's best friend, because this guy has known her since she was like a little girl. He grew up with the family. He's had some stuff that goes on in his life. So this family basically like took him under their wing for the holidays, because he's struggling with some things. They form a connection. It is beautiful. And this is just the cutest little holiday read. So you make it feel like Christmas. Then I have the Book Club Hotel. It looks like she owns a resort or of some sort with her husband, but her husband passes away and she's got to run this place on her own. Looks like she's probably just down, depressed. A group of 3 women on like a little book girls trip comes in, and I think it's just about basically the friendship that's going to be formed. They like take care of her, show her things, and they form a friendship. And so it's about like women's friendship, bonding. I don't think there's going to be like any kind of drama or anything like that. It is like a holiday book. So I think it's going to be a really cute read. It's a little thicker than I thought it was going to be, because with a Christmas book, I don't really want a really thick book. I want something I can fly through, because I think after a while, like the Christmas books can get old, unless you're just like super, Mrs. Claus or Mr., Santa Claus, and you just love Christmas. I just want a shorter one. But I mean, I think I'll be able to get through this pretty quick. Then I got Jasmine Guillory, Royal Holiday. This is going to be a little bit different, because usually the main character, the main female and main male character, are usually like 20s, 30s in most books. These are in their 50s. So she goes to London, I believe, with her daughter on a work trip. And she ends up meeting like a royal person. I'm not sure what he is. And it's just them forming their relationship. They bond, they get together, I'm assuming, but it's kind of different just to read about people in their 50s, which is not a bad thing. You can find love at any age, and I think that's probably where the author was coming from with this book. And a holiday one at that. I think this is going to be different for me. I think it's going to be cute. So I like to see it. So I also read on my Kindle, I've already read The Gift. It's a super, super short book, 51 pages, by who? Frida McFadden. So I had to read it. I told you guys I love her, and I'll read anything she writes. It was the silliest thing I've ever read. It was so silly. It was unbelievable. Yes, we could say it's fiction, so it's not going to be real, but come on. Like, nothing in 51 pages that happened would happen in real life. Nothing. It was so far-fetched, but yet it was written in Frida McFadden fashion. Like, she kept putting those little cliffhangers after each chapter, all 6 of them. But it still was good. Like, so if you're just kind of bored and you just want to flip through something real quick, literally 51 pages, it was cute. And right now I'm reading, I don't have my Kindle with me. Right now I'm reading, it's called The Christmas Holiday by Michaela Davids. Never heard of that author before, but I wanted something different. We always read the Christmas books about love and holiday time and, oh, I'm going to marry you on Christmas. But I wanted like a killer Christmas. So I found a Christmas thriller. It's about a newlywed couple. She's never met his parents, and they're going to Ireland to visit them. But I guess like the family is weird and things are going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm kind of going into it blind. I read the synopsis like one time when I saved the book to the Kindle, and I haven't gone back to it. So I just went in blind basically. So right now it's at the very beginning. I think I'm only on like page 30 or something like that. She's just gotten to the family. They're kind of giving her the side eye. She's kind of feeling not good enough for their son. So I don't know what's going to happen. I already think that the husband's kind of weird. So we'll see. And I'll wrap you up on all of these books that I'm going to end up reading for the holidays and for my end of the year TBR. I don't really know what that is right now. I don't want to put any pressure on myself because, like I told you before, I'm kind of a mood reader. So I'm just going to pick. There are certain books that I know I want to get through before the year is over. And I definitely want to do Twisted Hate. I'm definitely going to do Love Notes along with the Christmas books. But definitely these. So I'm just, lies. And I'm going to do, which one is next? Block Shot by Kennedy Ryan. So these are the 3 that I definitely want to get to before the end of the year. If I don't, I don't. These books are here. They'll be here, and I can read them in January. But these are probably the 3 that are next on my list that I definitely want to read. So yeah, there we are. So I hope you enjoyed my book shopping. I hope you enjoyed my book haul. my wrap up on what I've been reading. I've just been enjoying myself. I've been reading some really good books, and I hope the good juju is still going to be coming, where I can just continue to read good books and continue to recommend them to you. Till next time.